I want you to dictate to me memorandum, a couple of pages, four-letter words and short sentences on the situation in Vietnam, the Vietnam picture. This morning, Senator Scott said the war, which we can neither win, lose, nor drop, is evidence of an instability of ideas, a floating series of judgments, our policy of nervous conciliation, which is extremely disturbing. You think it's a mistake to explain about Vietnam and what we're faced with?
Well, I do think, Mr. President, that it'd be wise for you to say as little as possible. The frank answer is we don't know what's going on out there. The signs I see coming through the cables are disturbing signs. It's a very uncertain period.
We need somebody over there that can get us better plans than we got. What I want is somebody that can lay up some plans to trap these guys and whip hell out of them, kill some of them. That's what I want to do.
I'll try and bring something back that will meet that objective.
Give up.
Thank you.
Say to the Congress and the people that we do have a plan for reducing the exposure of U.S. combat personnel. So my observation about it is that the war doesn't continue to go well. It looks like we were overly optimistic. If we can need a way to get out of Vietnam, that's the way of doing it.
Bob?
Yes, Mr. President.
I hate to modify your speech any, because it's been a good one, but I just wonder if we should find 2 minutes in there for Vietnam.
You know, the problem is what to say about it.
All right, I'll tell you what I would say about it. I would say that we have a commitment to Vietnamese freedom. We could pull out of there, the dominoes would fall, and that part of the world would go to the communists. We could send our Marines in there, and we could get tied down in the Third World War or another Korean action. Nobody really understands what it is out there. They're asking questions, and they're saying, why don't we do more? Well, I think this. You can have more war or you can have more appeasement. But we don't want more of either. Our purpose is to train these people, and our training is going good.
All right, sir, I'll get
I always thought it was foolish for you to make any statements about withdrawing. I thought it was bad psychologically. But you and the President thought otherwise, and I just sat silent.
And the problem is... Really,
All right, then the question is, how in the hell does McNamara think when he's losing the war that he can pull men out of it?
If you went to the CIA and said, how's the situation today in South Vietnam, I think they'd say it's worse. You see it in the desertion rate, you see it in the morale, you see it in the difficulty to recruit people, you see it in the gradual loss of population control. Many of us in private would say that things are not good, they've gotten worse. Now, while we say this in private and not public, there are facts available that find their way in the press. If we're going to stay in there, if we're going to go up the escalating chain, we're going to have to educate the people, Mr. President. We haven't done so yet. I'm not sure now is exactly the right time.
No, and I think if you start doing it, they're going to be hollering you a warm-up.
I completely agree with you.
There aren't many examples in which you bring two former enemies together at the highest levels and discuss what might have been. I formed the hypothesis that each of us could have achieved our objectives without the terrible loss of life. And I wanted to test that by going to Vietnam. The former foreign minister of Vietnam, a wonderful man named Thua, said, "You're totally wrong. We were fighting for our independence. You were fighting to enslave us." We almost came to blows. That was noon on the first day. Do you mean to say it was not a tragedy for you when you lost 3,400,000 Vietnamese killed, which on our population base is the equivalent of 27 million Americans? What did you accomplish? You didn't get any more than we were willing to give you at the beginning of the war. You could have had the whole damn thing, independence, unification. Mr. McNamara, you must never have read a history book. If you'd had, you'd know we weren't pawns of the Chinese or the Russians. McNamara, didn't you know that? Don't you understand that we have been fighting the Chinese for 1,000 years? We were fighting for our independence, and we would fight to the last man, and we were determined to do so. And no amount of bombing, no amount of U.S. pressure would ever have stopped us.